Going to go there.
Yeah, no, we'll switch the subject. Anyway, during the holidays, we like to focus on all the joy and the cheer that fills the season, but this is also a very stressful time for a whole lot of people, and some people even turn to alcohol to try to manage all of the stress.
Erin Holmes from the Foundation for Advancing Alcohol Responsibility is here to explain how to incorporate drinking into your celebrations without going overboard, and that really is the key, is moderation.
It is. It's always focusing on moderation and making sure that you're responsible in your drinking, whether you're hosting a party or you're going out to an event, just making sure that you have a plan so that you're not putting yourself in a risky or dangerous situation later on that evening.
How big of a problem is stress for people during the holiday season?
The Foundation for Advancing Alcohol Responsibility recently did a survey, and we found that for parents, particularly parents with children under the age of 18, stress is a major factor during the holidays. And as I'm sure you can imagine, there's a lot going on, particularly for moms who are trying to ensure that they get everything in order for the holidays. They do all the shopping, the cooking, they're shuttling kids to and from events, they have their own parties. There's a lot going on, and with that there comes stress because of all these events that they have to plan, as well as all the financial stresses that come along with Christmas time.
You point to a survey, and this was really shocking to me. 63% of respondents said they did drive with their kids in the vehicle after drinking too much in the past 12 months.
Of those who had admitted that they drove after drinking the past 12 months, and that is a very important statistic to be aware of. A lot of times people don't necessarily plan ahead before they go out, so if they're out with their children, they may drive home with them in the vehicle, and that's something that nobody encourages.
Let's talk about how people can reduce the stress during the holiday season so they don't have to turn to alcohol.
Well, a lot of times it's really just focusing on what's most important when it comes to the holidays, whether that's just spending the time with your family and friends, or focusing on the things that are most important instead of all the little extras that come along with the holidays.
So there are some resources out there, obviously. There's Sober Ride during major holidays. We see that. And also you have on your website, or you refer to a website with a blood alcohol calculator. There's even apps for that nowadays.
Absolutely. Responsibility.org has a resource. It's called Before You Drink, and basically what that does is it's almost an educational resource whereby somebody can put in what they're planning to eat during the evening, what they're planning to drink, so that they have a better sense of what their BAC is. Because what we've found and what research has shown is that oftentimes people don't understand how high their BAC will get with what they're drinking and how long that actually takes for it to burn off and dissipate, especially in relation to driving.
Well, when we consider stress during the holiday season, does it affect more men than women? What are you seeing with that?
Oh, we find that it tends to affect women a little bit more than men, and the coping strategies are a bit differently. As I mentioned before, for women to cope, they tend to focus on what's most important, having memories with their family. We also found in the survey about a quarter, or 25% of men, said that they used alcohol as a coping mechanism. So those are just things to be aware of.
So what do the men need to consider?
Men need to learn that alcohol doesn't necessarily have to be a coping mechanism, but it's the same thing for women. As you pointed out at the beginning of the segment, it's all in moderation.
And I think what's hard for many people this time of year is that alcohol is such a fundamental part of our celebrations. I mean, it's cultural. You know, we talk about eggnog, you put peppermint schnapps in anything nowadays, and I think for people it's finding the right balance between celebrating and going too far.
Well, and absolutely. And the survey that we did found that about 60% of people noted that alcohol was a regular part of their holiday traditions. So it's something that's always going to be there, and it's just focusing on having fun and having your celebration, but also being responsible at the same time. So we like to remind people that it's important to holiday responsibly.
All right. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and why are you compelled to be a part of this cause?
I've done impaired driving work for about 7 years now, and I think that it's a really important cause. You know, it's still one of the most oft committed crimes in America. There's more than 1 million people arrested every year for DWI. We're still losing more than 10,000 lives each year, and it's something that's completely preventable. So I think the more education that we do, the more awareness that we have, the more attention that we bring to the issue and get people to realize and recognize the importance of planning ahead, that's really an admirable cause.
Right.
Erin Holmes, we thank you very much for coming in and offering your advice.
Thank you.
Happy holidays,
Happy holidays,
to you.
Merry Christmas.
And still ahead on Let's Talk Live.